Before we get into the video, nothing here is financial advice. Crypto and meme coins are extremely high risk. Prices move quickly, and everything in this video is only market commentary, education, and my personal watch list. Always do your own research, check live prices, verify liquidity, understand the risks, and never put in more than you can afford to lose. Today actually feels like one of the more important days in crypto for a while. Because Bitcoin has pushed back toward the $68,000 region, Ethereum is around the $2,100 area. Solana is around $82, and at the same time we have major headlines around Trump, the White House, the SEC, regulation, and the future structure of the crypto market. This is the kind of day where you do not want to just look at one green candle and get emotional, but you also do not want to ignore what the market is telling you. Because when Bitcoin starts pushing higher, Ethereum begins holding stronger and Solana starts looking better. That is normally when traders begin asking the same question again. Is liquidity about to rotate further down the market? The first thing to understand is that Bitcoin reclaiming the $68,000 area matters because it changes the tone of the market. When Bitcoin is weak, the whole market feels heavy, and meme coins usually get punished harder than anything else. But when Bitcoin starts moving back towards strength, it gives traders confidence, and confidence is what allows liquidity to move into Ethereum, then Solana, then eventually smaller altcoins and meme coins. Ethereum around the $2,100 area is also important because ETH is usually one of the clearest signals for whether the market is becoming more risk-on. Bitcoin can move first, but if Ethereum follows with strength, that tells you the market is not only hiding in Bitcoin anymore. It suggests that capital may be willing to rotate, and when ETH starts acting better, traders naturally begin watching Solana, majors, altcoins, and higher-risk plays. Solana sitting around $82 matters for meme coins specifically, because Solana is still one of the main chains where meme coin activity moves quickly. When Sol is weak, Solana memes usually feel heavy. When Sol starts holding up, the entire meme coin ecosystem can start looking more attractive again because traders become more comfortable taking risk on-chain. But the reason today feels bigger than just price is because the regulation side is also heating up. Trump is hosting crypto executives at the White House. The SEC is weighing new crypto rules, and the market is still watching the Clarity Act, because everyone wants to know whether the United States is finally moving toward a clearer digital asset framework. That is important because regulation has been one of the biggest overhangs on crypto for years. Projects, exchanges, funds, and investors all want to know what the rules actually are, who regulates what, and whether tokens can raise capital without constantly worrying about being treated like illegal securities offerings. So when the SEC starts talking about new frameworks, and when crypto executives are sitting at the White House, that tells you the industry is no longer sitting on the outside of finance. It is moving deeper into the center of the conversation. Now, I do not think the correct takeaway is that regulation instantly means everything goes up, because that would be too simple. Regulation can create winners and losers, and the details matter. But from a market psychology point of view, clearer rules can give larger players more confidence, and confidence is one of the biggest things crypto needs when liquidity has been cautious. So the way I am reading today's market is this. Bitcoin pushing towards 68,000 is the first sign of strength. Ethereum around 2,100 is the next piece of confirmation. And Solana around 82 is what makes the meme coin side of the market more interesting again. Add the Trump and SEC headlines on top, and suddenly the market has a real reason to start paying attention again. This does not mean we blindly chase every green candle. That is not how you survive in crypto. What it means is that we start watching the strongest narratives, the charts that have already retraced, and the coins that still have a reason to matter if liquidity continues rotating. The first coin I am watching is alt season, and this is still one of the cleanest narratives in the market because it is built around one of crypto's biggest recurring phrases, Alt season. Every cycle, traders wait for the moment when Bitcoin leads, Ethereum follows, Solana heats up, and then smaller caps and meme coins start running. That is exactly the environment where a ticker like alt season becomes relevant again. The chart has clearly retraced from its highs, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. But that is what makes it worth watching now, rather than only after everyone is already posting green candles. The real question is not whether alt season pulled back, because it did. The real question is whether the core narrative is still alive, and for me the answer is yes, because if Bitcoin holds strength, ETH continues pushing, and Solana starts supporting meme liquidity again, then a coin literally called alt season becomes extremely easy for the market to understand. The reason I still like the alt season setup is because it is simple. If alt season becomes the conversation again, alt season does not need a complicated explanation. The ticker already says everything. It is a cycle narrative. It is easy to share, and it fits directly into the kind of market people are waiting for. That does not mean it is guaranteed, but it does mean the narrative is still very much alive if liquidity starts rotating back into risk. The second coin I am watching is Fox. This is more of a character and branding play, and I think those matter when risk appetite returns because meme coins move on attention, recognition, and community energy. The Robinhood-style branding gives Fox a simple visual identity, and if the chart can keep rebuilding with stronger volume, then it becomes one of those lower cap names worth tracking while the market starts waking up. With Fox, I would not treat it the same way as a larger, more established meme. This is the type of coin where confirmation matters. You want to see buyers continuing to step in, volume returning, and the chart holding a healthier structure instead of just spiking and fading. But the reason it is interesting is because it has already shown life. It has branding, and it has enough activity to stay on the watch list. The third is Seed Coin, and this is the highest risk name on the list because it is much smaller, liquidity is thinner, and the chart still needs to prove itself, but the branding is simple, with the idea of watching something grow from the early stage. And that kind of message can work if the market starts rewarding smaller, earlier narratives again. With Seed Coin, I would want to see more volume, stronger buyer interest, and a proper base forming before treating it as anything more than a high-risk watchlist play. The upside can be sharp with smaller market caps, but the downside can be just as sharp if attention disappears. So for me, this is not about blindly chasing it. It is about watching whether the market starts showing confirmation. I'm also paying attention to Bitcoin, and this is probably the most established meme on the list. It has more market history, stronger liquidity, a larger holder base, and a name that people remember, even if it sounds ridiculous. In meme coin markets, ridiculous can work because these are attention markets, and attention does not always go to the most serious name. It goes to the one people remember, share, and keep talking about. Bitcoin has already had major expansion phases, retracements, and continued trading history, which makes it different from coins that only get one pump and disappear. The question from here is whether it can keep holding liquidity, and whether volume returns if meme coin momentum picks up again. In a better market, established memes can come back quickly because traders already know them and do not need to be introduced from zero. So when I put all of this together, today's update is actually pretty simple. Bitcoin is showing strength near 68,000. Ethereum around 2,100 is important for broader risk appetite. Solana around 82 is important for meme coin liquidity. Trump and the SEC are putting crypto regulation back in the spotlight. And underneath all of that, the meme coin narratives that have already retraced are starting to become worth watching again. That does not mean every coin runs tomorrow. It means the market is becoming more interesting. And when the market becomes more interesting, you need to know what you are watching before everyone else starts paying attention. For me, the key things to watch from here are simple. Can Bitcoin hold the $68,000 region and continue showing strength? Can Ethereum keep pushing and confirm that liquidity is moving beyond Bitcoin? Can Solana hold the $80 area and support meme coin activity? And can the strongest meme coin narratives start rebuilding volume and structure after their pullbacks? If those things line up, the market could start looking a lot more interesting very quickly. If they do not, then patience matters, because forcing trades in a weak market is one of the easiest ways to lose money. Before I wrap up, make sure you are following the X account and joining the Telegram channels. The X account is where I post quick market thoughts, updates, and narrative breakdowns. The main Telegram is where I post calls, updates, and structured commentary. I will leave all the links in the description and pinned comment. Again, none of this is financial advice. Crypto and meme coins are high risk, and you need to manage your own risk properly. But if you want to understand the market properly, do not just react to green candles, because today's market is not just about price. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and follow.